Hello, my name is Karina, and for my plasma final, I wanted to do a video essay covering Señor Kristian Mercado. First off, I would like to overview his personal influences. Next, I would like to overview his directorial works. Lastly, I would like to look at how his personal influences affect his directing and what that really brings to the table when it's all combined together. First off, I would like to acknowledge something that is very obviously and inescapably him, and that is the fact that he is Puerto Rican. It says on his website that he is Puerto Rican, raised between Spanish Harlem and Puerto Rico. Here I will read an excerpt from CFR.org. Here it reads, Puerto Rico is a political paradox, part of the United States but distinct from it, enjoying citizenship but lacking full political representation, and infused with its own brand of nationalism despite not being a sovereign state. More than a century after being acquired by the United States from Spain, the island continues to grapple with its status as a U.S. territory and the legacy of colonialism in the Caribbean. One incredible thing about Puerto Rico is that it has a very beautifully diverse population. Here I will read an excerpt on Puerto Rico's cultural and racial mosaic. It says, Puerto Rico's diverse population is the result of centuries of migration, colonization, and cultural exchange. In the early 18th century, Spanish settlers intermarried with Taino indigenous women, forming the foundation of Puerto Rico's mestizo, mixed identity. To sustain agricultural production and infrastructure, African slaves were brought to the island, contributing to Puerto Rico's Afro-Caribbean heritage in music, dance, and cuisine. Just being born a Puerto Rican already adds a real deep layer of complexity to Mr. Mercado's background. Also, with this sort of background, it makes sense to sort of crave a voice for yourself, representative of the people that you love. Everything that we hear and know about Puerto Rico is never really from the people. It's from either the media, that's not Puerto Rican media, of course, and the government that kind of just puts labels on them constantly. We only ever hear about the tragedies with their hurricane. And I imagine that watching your people constantly be labeled by others and never really themselves is a struggle that impacts your life and your identity of self. I would like to share some clips that reveal Mercado's personal views on directing and paint a more vivid landscape of the type of vision Mercado has as a director.
Narrative, story, emotion, those are the things that there is no tangible, quantifiable dollar amount that anyone can put, because being a good storyteller is experiences, it's reading, it's living life, it's something that moved you, it's the poem that you read that one day and just changed your life, you know? It's that song that just makes life worth living at that moment. Those are things that are incapturable. You can have the most expensive camera in the world, you can have the best lenses, it doesn't matter. All that stuff is just fluff. It's just fluff. It's just making things pretty. Making an image pretty with no intention is worthless. You have to have an intention. Intention is everything. I've done a lot of work that's well budgeted and stuff. But I still feel compelled to make things with my friends, and I don't care about the scale. I care about what it means, what it moves you. I want something to move people. And so when I make stuff like that, it's really contingent on following an emotion. And I felt like when I heard that song, I was touched, I was moved, and I wanted to be part of it. I was working in commercials first, right? But I knew that wasn't where I really wanted to be. I knew that wasn't really the place for me. So little by little, I kind of started slipping out of that place. And I would always go to places that would allow me the space to kind of explore, allow me the space to kind of create. You could have been the most coolest, biggest outfit in advertising or production. I didn't really care if I was not given some sort of autonomy or some sort of ownership of being able to do something that had present meaning. So I would always gravitate towards that. And even though that's a harder way to do it, what ends up happening is you double down on something, it kind of generates it again twofold, because once you do it once, it's oh, I can do that again. I'm going to introduce myself as a director, but I also want to say I'm a survival director. And what I mean by that is that I live off of it. I have to kind of make a living. I'm very selective about the work I do, like still, like even if it's a commercial, I don't just say yes. Like I don't just say yes immediately. I look at what it is, and that goes back to that idea of intention, you know? Because I try to create work even within commercial spaces that might have something to say, you know? And I think having, like, you have to force that sometimes, I think, in certain spaces.
For personal influences, I wanted to infuse Mr. Mercado's personal opinions and insights. Mr. Mercado believes that your lived experiences are very vital to storytelling. Mr. Mercado says that he will always be compelled to make things with his friends. He has shied away from commercials to enter spaces where he has more room to be creative, and so that really shows a hunger that he has for creative freedom. Lastly, I wanted to include that Mr. Mercado is selective about the work that he does, and that he doesn't want to do work that doesn't allow him to put in intention and meaning behind it. Next, I would like to take a look at his body of work. I would really like to take a look at his exploration of mixed media and what that kind of brings. Overall, I wanted to critique that Mercado's work gives a feeling of organized chaos. He says he was doing commercials for a while, and it seems he's honed in on being able to make chaos readable for broad viewers. The many layers and textures of animation really add to the visual chaos, but once again, it is layered in a way that is very readable. The intention is never lost. I watched the movie If You Were the Last, and I have to say I am a huge fan. I love that movie so much. Here's a synopsis via Peacock website. Adrift in their broken down space shuttle with little hope of rescue, two astronauts debate whether they're better off as friends or something more. I love the animation. I love the way it combines animation with live action. And when they're in the ship, it's like, it makes it really like whimsy, but at the same time, you really understand what and feel what these people are going through. Finally, as to how his influences affect his directing, there's no way I can't cover Nuevo Rico. A brief synopsis of Nuevo Rico reads, a brother and sister stumble upon a celestial secret that changes their lives forever and propels them into reggaeton stardom. But they soon discover that their newfound fame comes at a deep price. Nuevo Rico takes place in a futuristic dystopian Puerto Rico. It pays homage to Taíno roots. Mercado's background, intention, and directing style all tie together and bleed on the screen to create this work that is truly unique, yet speaks to a broad audience. With its colors, textures, music, and action-filled storytelling, Nuevo Rico's authenticity is undeniable. Mr. Mercado isn't just talk when it comes to applying intention. His work speaks for itself. Thank you so much for watching this presentation. Once again, my name is Karina. I hope you really enjoyed it.